Hey guys, it's daprettywolfe and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. So in today's video, I am going to share 5 tips and tricks with you guys that transformed my makeup. And I usually do this when I have a special occasion and if I want my makeup to last longer and look flawless, and really just the difference, the way how my makeup look compared to not doing it. So if you want to see more of my videos, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, hit the notification bell so that you are notified when I upload my next video. So let's get started. The first tips that I'm going to show you guys is how I apply my foundation. This is the most important steps if you want a flawless result that lasts longer as well. It is such a simple tricks, but it does really make a big difference, and it pretty much work with any liquid foundation that you use. So mine today, I'm going to use my Double Wear foundation from Estee Lauder, and I'm in shade 3W2. So I'm going to apply this with my NYX brush. So just placing this on my face for the first layer. So I pretty much spread the foundation on my face now. So this is the first layer. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to grab my sponge right here. If you have Beauty Blender, mine is from e.l.f. I'm gonna use this to kind of press the product or the foundation onto my face, just to kind of get rid of any brush strokes, but at the same time you're really making sure that the product is well blended and as well as well pressed on the skin. So after doing that, I'm going to apply the second layer of my foundation, but this time I'm going to use the sponge. So I'm going to grab the product and then pressing it again in the area. So this really ensures you that you are not trying to spread the product anymore, but you're building the coverage and just making sure that it really stays in place. If I use the brush, it really evens out my skin tone first, and the Beauty Blender, it gives it a nice coverage. So I'm really taking my time to kind of press and blend this foundation because we wanted to make it last, and this is the way how I normally do it when I have an event. So once you are satisfied with the coverage of your foundation, now it's time to grab the magic. And this is something that is very, very simple that sometimes we tend to forget. Now, if I just want to go out and, just do my normal days, this is good enough for me. But I really wanted to make it more flawless. So I'm going to grab my Fix Plus. This is from MAC. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray my face with this. So let's do it. There's a lot on my eyes actually, so I can't open it. So let this dry, not 100% dry, because you want that something like a gooiness into the foundation, but at the same time you don't want to blend it, or you don't want to put blend your sponge in there while it's still wet, because it might tend to move your foundation. So make sure that it's almost like sticky. Okay, and I think that's pretty good enough. So now I'm gonna start blending in and just pressing it in. So this is what I'm doing as of now. As you can see, it really looks like the foundation and the Fix Plus together are melted onto my skin. Now the next step is I'm going to go with my concealer. So I'm going to apply my Born This Way concealer. And I finished applying my concealer. Now the next step is I'm going to set my whole face with the powder, of course. I'm going to use my Laura Mercier translucent powder. So I'm not going to set it or bake it with anything. I'm just going to have a little bit of powder in there. Just get rid of the stickiness, and at the same time you're setting it with just a little bit, not so much. Alright, so the powder is done. Now on to my next tips with you guys. As you see, this is the foundation right now. Now the next step is mist a tiny bit of this one more time to kind of like mix all together the powder and the foundation, so that it gives you that little bit of glow, but not so much. So I'm gonna do this, and that's all I need. And then the last part I'm gonna do is using my sponge again. I'm going to press very, very light. So that's all you need, not so much, because we don't want to move that any product there anymore. So just because we just put a powder and the face just looks a little bit more matte, so we would just want to bring that nice glow, a little bit of glow in there is really good. That's it, guys. So that is the #1 tip for flawless and will last longer foundation. So the next tips that I'm gonna show you guys is the brow. So for the brow, you know guys that brows does really frame our face, and for the brow today I'm gonna use two products right here. I have my pencil, Precisely My Brow pencil from Benefit, and I have the tinted brow mascara from NYX. I do really love the shade of this. My tip is, when I first apply my brow, and to make it last longer and it doesn't slip, it will grip onto the skin and it will not move even you're partying. So the thing that I do is I'm gonna grab just a smaller brush right here, and I'm going to use a translucent powder before I apply any brow product onto my skin. So just getting rid of the oil excess or anything that you might have been put there, any moisturizer or any mist that's in the hair, it's gonna get rid of that. By this time, so when you try to put your brow product, it applies evenly because it doesn't slip, but also it just gives you more color right away, like more shade. So as you see this, guys, when I tried to apply the brow product, it did not slide around. So the product just kind of like stays in place. So that's why it applies really evenly and it looks like way more cleaner, and you can really make sure that your arch is on point. The next step that I wanted to do with this is I'm gonna put this tinted brow mascara right here just to make sure that all the hairs are kept in place and it doesn't move around. And just make the hair also like just be in the place that they need to be. And as you see, guys, that's how it works for me. It's really, really good. It's a very simple step, but it really makes a big difference. So I'm gonna do my other brow and I'll be right back. Then I'm gonna show you my next important tips that you don't want to miss out as well. So I'll be right back. And I'm back with my brow. There you go, guys, the even and really on point. Also, I did my eyeshadow because the next tip that I'm going to show you guys is how I apply my shimmer eyeshadow that really make a big difference. This kind of technique that I normally do when I apply the shimmer shade on my eyes, it does gives my eyes an illusion that it's extra bigger because of the way how I apply them. So the palette that I used for this eyeshadow is the NATASHA DENONA Bronze Palette. So I'm grabbing the shade, the shade Silk, and I'm gonna pop it into the eyelid. So just right here. So normally what other people do is they would just pop it right in the middle and right here in the corner. So yeah, so when you see from right here to right here, that's when normally other people do. But in my case, I always bring this shimmer a little bit higher, closer to the inner corner of my eyes, where kind of like the curve right in here. So I'm gonna show you exactly what I meant. I'm gonna use this brush. And I'm just gonna bring that right there. But the thing that I do it here is I make it so thin because I don't want this to look really opaque. What exactly you want to do is just build up the consistency and the coverage of shimmer shade that you want to put on your eyelid and into the corner, and then grab a tiny brush and just put a little bit in there and then just start kind of spreading it right in the top. It makes my eyes a little bit more bigger. It gives me a wider space. And if you want your eyes to look bigger, this is one of the tips that you can do when you apply your eyeshadow. So I'm gonna do the other side and then let's jump into the next tip. So I am back with my other eye makeup, and I also did the contour and bronzer off cam because the next tip that I wanted to show you guys is, like we did contour the forehead, the cheekbone, the jawline. And it's important to contour as well the middle part of your face, because now it looks like here is all sculpted, but in the middle it's just all like a blank. So it needs some shadows in there as well. And that's when I start to come in and try to contour my nose. So I do have two little brush here. There was one that is slanted but fluffy. This one is flat but a little bit more skinnier on the end. So what I want to do, if I wanted to contour really nice, straight, sculpted on my nose, is I'm going to use this one first. This is pretty typical contouring, so you want to contour around your nose. But the second part that I wanted to show you guys later is after this one. I want to contour the bridge first and down to the nostril, the nose ball, and stuff like that. So I made a line, as you see, and I'm going to do it on the other side. Alright, so that's the typical contour that we have seen most of the people do. So they want to contour right here, right here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of use this slanted brush to fluff this out so that it doesn't look like it's really sharp. So what I'm going to do is I do that. It's starting to look like it's faded, and it's way better. Right, but the next step that I'm going to do is, most of the time a lot of people stop right here. What I wanted to do is I'm going to grab just a tiny bit of bronzer. I'm not going to use a contour shade because contour shade is it's very pigmented, and it's kind of like it gives you the obvious line. I don't want that to happen on my nose, but I wanted something more diffused and not pigmented. So I'm gonna grab a bronzer. This is from one of my palette. So any bronzer that is diffused and not so strong, you can use it. So I'm going to dip into that, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to connect this line that I already did on my nose to my brow, right where you can see the kind of curved halo in there. This slanted brush that I use, it's just perfect for what I'm doing here. I don't need to do anything. I just have to place that there, and then boom. So as you see that, guys, it's just right there, and I just have to kind of blend it, but it gives you that illusion that it connects to the halo of your eyes here, but doesn't give you a sharp line. And by doing this, it really creates the illusion that my nose right here is very thin and tall, which is not. This is why the kind of shadowing here that I do in this halo, it really helps to elevate my makeup. You know, a little detail and a little bit of time to actually do this, it's really worth it. And then I'm gonna use this fluffy brush to just kind of diffuse everything, and there. So my main point on this tip, guys, especially for the nose contour, is the halo right here that I just wanna create that shadow. And the next thing is I'm gonna just put a little bit of highlighter into the nose, the bridge of the nose, like the tip of the nose, a little bit here. Okay, so I'm ready for the last tips that I'm going to give you guys today. We have been good with all the tips, and I hope you can follow along with it. If you want to understand, if you want to follow it, you can always go back to this video and watch me doing it. But anyway, I'm going to give you the last one. I'm going to show you the big difference if you try to do this. And I am back, guys, with my lipstick already applied, and most of you are probably thinking that this look is done now. But one thing that it's not done yet, I wanted to just bring a little bit of naturalness into the makeup right now. I don't know, I think that's a word, naturalness, right? I'm going to grab this lipstick from Estee Lauder. This is in shade Irrepressible. It's 120. This is a matte finish. Let me swatch with you guys. So that's how it looks like. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna apply just a tiny bit of color into the inner middle of my lips. And then I just kind of like blend it in along with the lipstick, and you see the difference. You're having this nude lipstick, such a beautiful shade, but adding that tiny bit of kind of like a natural way of how lips looks like. It's even better, and I like it that way. So I hope you guys like it as well. And yes, there you go. This is the look. As you see, I am very satisfied about it, and I hope you guys like these tips that I'm sharing with you, and I hope you can create it the way I applied my foundation. The lips, the contouring, it just gives you that nice idea on how to elevate and give your makeup an extra transformation. Yes, I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you like the tutorial. I hope you like all the tips and tricks, and thank you so much for staying. If you are here until now watching my video, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe on my channel if you haven't yet. Hit that notification bell so that you are notified whenever I upload my next video. Thank you so much, and I will see you on my next one. Bye guys!